Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor. So happy to be with you live on a Tuesday with my man, Jody. What's up, Jody?
Yo, what's good, everybody? Happy Tuesday. This is Change Our Mind. What's going on, Andy? It's good to be here, bro.
Good to see you. It's been a while. Yeah, I'm glad to have you back.
Man.
We got some big news I'm going to drop tonight. Well, it's a good little scoop. And also talk about a rumor that's going out there about Marvel and the Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange. Lots of stuff coming out, lots of talk about things, but I got some clarity for you guys out there about what's happening, and I think it's going to spur a pretty fun conversation tonight, so you guys can get involved, obviously, at any point in the evening. So glad to see so many of you guys in the chat. We got Eric, we got Keo, we got James, Damon. I saw David March, Knock Shadow,
It's good,
Marcos.
everybody.
Good to Sathwick. So many guys in there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight, being in there on time. I saw you guys waiting. Sorry, always 9:10, always 9:10, 9:15, give or take. Works out. But I appreciate all you guys so much. Hopefully we'll have a fun show tonight. So, Jody, everything good with you before we break into this?
Yeah, man, everything's been good. Stuff is piling up. Twitch stream is going to be launching this month, so look forward to that next week.
Did you pre-order your Xbox or your PlayStation? Did you get it? Because I see a lot of drama out there about all that.
Xboxes was a no-go. I tried for my boy. I told him I would, and no, everywhere. It was harder to get than the PlayStation.
It's crazy.
I do have the PlayStation, though. I got the PlayStation pre-ordered.
Yeah, well, we can talk about that. What's winning right now? What's the Xbox PlayStation debate? Would be kind of fun to do it at some point tonight. We can hit there. Get my drink ready as we get into this Marvel scoop. I mean, it sounds like if you're not paying attention, it's just gonna be hard to get one of those platforms this year.
It's
You're gonna
tough,
have to wait.
bro. It's tough. This is crazy. Like, people are lying. Microsoft and Sony are lying about their allotment. They're not going to have as many as they say they are. So they're just trying to calm panic down. But if you're looking at these pre-orders, you could clearly tell they're about to be in real short supply.
I mean, that's a good problem to be in, though, if you're them. Because supply and demand, man.
They're going to resell it. The resellers, bro. They're buying the consoles. They're the ones. Half of them are resellers. They're already on eBay right now for like $900.
Yeah, I guess you're right. That's not good. But my point is the demand is going to be through the roof, so they'll be selling them like crazy. But yeah, it's weird. They never know how to do it. Seems like every launch of a gaming system, they never make enough. They always don't. They don't want to be afraid. They don't want to be stuck with all those units, right? So it is what it is.
Bud Light didn't help either. So
no, for sure. I mean, and people are just like, please give me a new system, new games to play. So
because everything's rising, the Switch, all the consoles are just rising through the roof because kids are at home. They have nothing to do. They're playing games.
It's true. Well, all right. Well, we'll come back to that topic. If you guys are watching live, stay tuned. You guys can always pivot our conversation wherever you want. But let's start this first part of the show with this Marvel news. Okay, so I got. Let's start it here. If you aren't subscribed, subscribe. Hit that like button, all you guys. Thank you guys for joining. But here is the information. So, crazy Marvel multiverse rumor sounds impossible to pull off, right? Now, have you heard about this yet, Jody? Have you heard about this talk about this? Before I get to the specific casting I know about.
Nope.
You don't even know the rumor that launched the other day. Okay, so this is all fresh to you. Well, what would I say? What would you say to this, Jody, and all of you guys watching? Apparently, according to my sources, after I saw some of this going out there, and as I was getting that information as it was coming out there, apparently, Multiverse of Madness, which will be the end of WandaVision, is going to trigger it. The events of WandaVision set Wanda into a path that makes her go crazy, basically, in search of something that makes things go crazy, and the multiverse sort of rips open, and that's sort of how things happen, causing Doctor Strange to get involved, etc. And so that's what this is. But in doing so, what they have the opportunity to now do is basically Marvel has the opportunity to do their own Flashpoint. So I'm hearing this is actually true. It's true. And it's not only is it true, but they are talking about trying to cast pretty big celebrities as alternate timeline versions of the heroes we know and love. Iron Man, Cap, etc. So as Doctor Strange, as they're going through that movie, just like they're going to do in Flashpoint, which is ironic, right? Civil War happened, Batman v Superman happened. Like, it seems like DC and Marvel are constantly doing the same storylines side by side. It's weird how that goes down. But apparently Marvel's going to be doing the same sort of move here by flashpointing the Marvel universe. And yes, the big rumor that you get, and this is not my scoop, but this is I can confirm that yes, They are talking to Tom Cruise to play Iron Man.
Dude. Oh, wow.
So now, look, this is not confirmed. This is still early talks, but the rumors out there are correct that they would like to try. They've been speaking to him, trying to figure out if they can make this happen. That's why this rumor is starting to float out there. And he was originally apparently up for Iron Man. That's why. And he didn't get the role. And so this idea of Tom Cruise coming in to sort of play Iron Man is a pretty genius stunt casting. I mean, because you can't replace Robert Downey Jr., but if you're going to do sort of a one-off where you need Iron Man to show up and they can sort of introduce this, I don't know, Jody. It's kind of interesting. So I got another scoop. My big scoop is just I know another one that's apparently further down the line that's complicated, and I want to talk about. But before I go there, what do you think about this idea of Tom Cruise as Iron Man? Could that be fun, or do you think they're doing too much here?
I knew about it a long time ago, way back in 2007, when they were talking about casting Tom Cruise to be Tony Stark. And I was like, bro, that's perfect. I'm a pro Tom Cruise fan. What do you want me to say? I love Tom Cruise and everything that he does. He's about to go into space for his next Mission Impossible film. This man is a legend, bro. He has gone down in history for me as the single greatest action star of all time. I'm putting him past Schwarzenegger, man, because Schwarzenegger was dope, but the limits that he's pushing his body to and the levels that he's taking the action genre has not ever been done before and probably never will be done again. Shout out to Jackie Chan for the stunt performances and all that, but this is another level. The man was hanging from a plane. So imagine the type of thing that he's going to do, if this is true, as Tony Stark.
Yep.
You remember how Robert Downey Jr. in Civil War, the most you got from him was little hand blasters, and he tried to do a little karate move? Tom Cruise is about to put some respect on Tony Stark's name outside the Iron Man suit. Bruh.
He's going to demand a real Iron Man. He's going to be like, I'm in that suit the whole movie. I don't want no CGI suit.
Bro, he's
like, I want to see a jetpack. I want to be that jetpack guy that was flying at LAX. Yeah, no, he's totally going to figure out some crazy stunt. Yeah, look, I don't know how you replace RDJ, but I think this is an interesting angle, right? And then if this happens and it works, I mean, there's something interesting there, right? Like, all right, let's bring Tom. Wait, let's get the Tom Cruise Iron Man in. Since Robert Downey Jr. is gone, let's add respect. We got the alternate timeline, Tom Cruise.
Mind you, I don't think he's going to replace Robert Downey Jr.
No.
It's going to give a different spin on him. It's like, where Robert Downey Jr. lacked, I feel like Tom Cruise will fill that void. And where Tom Cruise can't hit, Robert Downey Jr. has that. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's complementary.
The question I have next is if Tom wants to get into the MCU, which you'd think he'd want to, if they had a good part from him once together. But is this the role to take? Is it?
Yes.
Is this the movie you want to make? Because this doesn't mean he's Iron Man. This means he's playing Iron Man in somebody else's movie, showing up, and it's a glorified cameo. But you think that's still cool enough? Because if it works and blows it away, then we can see more Iron Man. We can go to his timeline and have a whole nother new movie.
Bro, you could legitimately, and it's not. Age doesn't apply to this man. I don't know what baby's blood brand he's drinking, but age and nutrition does not apply. This man is in top peak health, and he's been that way for 20 years. He don't age. So you can legitimately cast him to be the next Iron Man if you wanted to. Do a swapperoo, and we get 6 movies of this guy. I'll take it.
Yeah, so I'm excited. Again, this is still in talks. It's in talks, but this idea
is the equivalent of Batman Returns coming back. So if we're going to do the Marvel DC thing, this is Michael Keaton Batman coming back to me.
This is what I mean, exactly. With Michael Keaton Batman coming back, they need something big. And getting Tom Cruise to step into the Tony Stark role would be big. So if that's really in talks, and I think it's one of those things that's starting to leak out there, I wonder if they're trying to figure out, do people want this, right? Because as Tom Cruise, you gotta step back for a second and think, is this actually the right move for me, right? Will fans actually revolt on this? So I guess if fans, I think it's similar to some of the other Batman casting they're trying to do. If fans spark to this, I bet you it makes it happen more. It also gives Tom Cruise more bargaining power to be like, I want more money, or whatever else he's going to try to demand, because he's Tom Cruise. He can sort of ask that. Tom Cruise in a Marvel movie is a pretty big move. So
I wouldn't be surprised if Tom Cruise gets the same paycheck that Iron Man Robert Downey Jr. left with.
I mean, it's
because
true,
Tom
right?
Cruise is a bigger star than Robert Downey Jr. And then when you bring into the fact that he carries all these multiple different franchises. Robert Downey Jr., we thought he was a movie star, we saw what happened with Doolittle. He's already talking about coming back to the MCU, but Tom Cruise is that dude.
Yeah, well, I see some of you guys, there was talk about him playing Hal Jordan as well. That is true. He was.
That's what I wanted. I wanted that.
There was talk of him. He was the role. What I've heard is he was up for Green Lantern, the movie. Yeah. And the goal was like they were going to kill him off at the end of the movie. Like it was going to be a big surprise and thing. And he was like, no, I want to be Green Lantern. Why are you killing me off? I don't agree to that. And that sort of was the deal point that sort of made it not happen. And then obviously the movie didn't happen. But there's still a series happening. I've been trying to get a scoop on what's happening with that Berlanti series for HBO Max, but I've heard nothing yet. But he could go wherever he wants. So I think that he may be taking meetings on both sides, and this may be a non-starter, and Iron Man may not be in the cards for him. But I think the idea here, even if it's not Tom Cruise, there's something cool about this idea of, oh, wow, okay, I never thought about that. They could bring Iron Man back through the multiverse now, have an alternate timeline Tony Stark that sort of sneaks in or comes in smartly, figuring it out. And now suddenly we have a new one to figure it out. I mean, the Flash does it all the time with, what's his name? The smart guy. Oh, there's always a new, smarter version of him in different dimensions. Tony Stark could be that guy. Is like, yeah, this Earth just lost their Iron Man. So hey, I'm here. What do you guys need? There's ways to figure that out. I think could be interesting. So this is just the beginning. So obviously fans have been trying to. And sadly, I don't have this confirmed, but speculation has also been out there that Tobey Maguire would eventually come back, maybe as Spider-Man, especially since Sam Raimi is making this film. I can't confirm or deny that. I don't know anything about it, but that's another opportunity that fans
I don't see Sony letting that happen.
Fans are willing that in. So exactly, will Sony let that? Who knows? But if there was an opportunity, Sam Raimi doing it, could you get a cameo there? Does Sony allow that to sort of spark that back up? Who knows? But
Toby's gonna be in Sony's universe. They're gonna bring him back. That Spider-Verse opens stuff up. They're going to use Toby, and they're going to show it on Sony. They're not going to give it to Disney. No way. I don't believe that at all. I don't think that's going to happen.
So that's one people want, is what I'm just saying. But one. So anyway, getting my scoop, and I thank you, Myra, for sending it over. Thank you guys for supporting. Tom Cruise has flops. People forget that. Yeah, of course he does. Night and Day wasn't great. He's done a couple movies that didn't perform, but I would say more often than not they perform. Myra.
Way more often than not. Yeah,
he is a verified movie star. There's no doubt about it.
All right,
but. So while there's a lot of speculation out there, the one I've been told, which is a little weird because people are going to go, wait a second. But so my scoop tonight of sort of the thing that's not out there yet that I was told was this. Captain America would come back. Jody, who do you think's going to play him?
Brad Pitt.
Nope. John Krasinski. So apparently the talks are they want to get John Krasinski in. There are still talks of him potentially playing Mr. Fantastic, but this would be sort of the joke because Chris Evans and he are friends. He was apparently very close to landing the role of Captain America way back. And so this would be sort of a funny little nod to have Krasinski in as Cap. And then when I asked my source, I'm like, well, wait a second. I thought he was up for Mr. Fantastic. My source was like, that doesn't matter. You can have him play two different, completely different roles in the same universe. But now, just again, this opens up sort of what their thinking is of you got Tom Cruise, Iron Man, you got John Krasinski, Cap. They are attempting here to sort of reboot these characters that we know and love and sort of doing the tongue in cheek of like, well, he was almost it. People like him. Let's make that happen. Krasinski, I like Krasinski. Is he like,
I do too.
Is he a huge stunt casting? No. Do I need him as Cap? No. If it's like a little one-off joke, maybe, but I do think it's confusing. I stand by the fact I'd rather see him as Mr. Fantastic.
Yes.
Just have him be a clean walk-in as that. Yeah. So if this is what they're trying to do and they're like trying to do like a little like misdirect is what it feels like potentially. This is one I don't want to really will in. I don't care that much, but I don't like this one. And so that I didn't want to spoil this. At the same time, I wanted to put it out there because I'm like, can we do it better than this, Marvel? I love Krasinski, but let's give him Reed Richards, right? Let's give him that, and let's let him do that, and let's not do this weird double dip. But what do you think of this, Jody?
I'm with you. Mr. Fantastic makes more sense. Him and his wife, she's fire and beautiful. That should happen. He's a decent, competent director. We've seen him with The Quiet Place. Part 1, Part 2 looks like it's going to be just as good, if not better. I like him as a person. He seems real cool, down to earth. He has a little news show he does now. Shout out to him. But as Captain America, I'm going to have to say a no here because, he just doesn't have, and it's not just about him not having the look to me. He's just, his persona and the sway he carries, it doesn't really gel and blend with Captain America so much as it would blend with somebody who's a straight and narrow brainiac type of person like Reed Richards. It just makes more sense. Plus, you put it in our ear. We've been hearing for a long time him being Reed Richards and all that. And then when you throw a Captain America suit on him, it kind of spoils it, right?
Yep.
Because let's say that they even do both. Hey, you could be Cap in this Multiverse of Madness, and then we'll cast you later as Mr. Reed Richards. I think that's going to sully us seeing him as Reed Richards just a little bit. I feel like you want to save that for the Reed Richards reveal, if he will be, and not kind of like blow the load and make him be Captain America, when I feel like you could cast somebody else that will fit it better.
Yeah, look, I don't disagree. That's why, it's I don't know why he would do that. I mean, I know why he would do this, because it's sort of a fun joke.
Is this
for
him that
buddy.
wanted it, or is this like rumors?
I'm told they're talking to him, trying to figure this out, because he's been meeting with Marvel on this. And again, he's friends with Chris, right? Like, they're Boston boys. They go back. They were up for the role. I mean, sure, he could have been a Captain America. I don't disagree with the idea of there, but I think it's confusing. And if he's doing this instead of Reed Richards, then that makes me even more upset. If he's doing this as sort of a little misdirect, and then, oh yeah, by the way, he's also Reed Richards. Like, hey, aren't you the cat? Again, it's the Flash does that all the time. To be fair, like, you can have a character be two different characters in your universe. It's not like unheard of in the comics or on the shows, but I think in this case, it's a weird thing. Yeah, and you said Brad Pitt. That's who I would say. Like, yeah, get someone like massive, especially if it's just a one-off. There's something fun about, like, how do you do like a Tom Cruise versus somebody big? And no offense to John Krasinski, I like him, but I'd rather see him do that. But yeah, but what do you think of this idea? And I want to open up to you guys and the fans. Like,
this idea is fire.
What do you think of these alternate reality versions of the heroes? Like, and I want to hear some brainstorming from you guys in the chat. Send them over. Send your suggestions over. But I was sending Steph, Chris, and I, we were all talking about the one they sent over. That was like, they were like, how about Jim Carrey for Loki? I was like, I would watch that. I like that one. You had. I'm trying to think, like, who else? Who's your cat? Who's your Hulk? You could, I mean, dude, the possibilities are endless. You could do the Black Panther switch or something there too. Yeah. There's so many ways you could change this around to get. I mean, it's an opportunity to sort of start a stunt cast, right, and then see if it sticks, and then you can say, hey, let's do more. Did you have fun? Yeah, let's come back. Matt Damon would be better as Captain. I know he's too old now. Well, I don't know. Matt Damon would be a fun one too. Again, better than he's bigger. I feel like if you're gonna get Tom Cruise as Iron Man, you need somebody massive. Bradley Cooper, yeah, bring him in as a live action version.
Imagine seeing Brad Pitt's Cap and Tom Cruise's Iron Man. That's just not epic in the sense of Cap and Iron Man were dope in the MCU, but it's like, bro, that's Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise facing that's some Hollywood epicness right there, bro. That'll be fantastic.
Well, yeah, I was thinking that too. Someone's like, how about Terrence Howard back as Rhodey? Or Edward Norton as back as the Hulk? You can figure out a funny way.
Eric Bana, or whatever his name is. Bring him as the Hulk.
I mean, it's like, part of me is like, man, this is totally what Flashpoint's trying to do.
This is weird, bro, because DC had
timing is so crazy, right?
God dang, this is crazy. Do you think they just started to think this up? They did name this the Multiverse of Madness like a year ago.
Yes. This was announced a while ago at Comic-Con.
Which one was first? I remember Flash being
they knew.
Thing.
They knew with Endgame approaching and contracts ending, like, they knew they had to make a multiverse. Like, that wasn't... I don't think that was something like, oh, wait, Flashpoint's doing it? Yeah, I think Marvel was clearly like... Maybe Marvel accelerated it, thinking, you know what?
It feels weird, though. Like, why would Kevin Feige decide to make Doctor Strange the Flashpoint and not Infinity War when you're dealing with the Infinity Gauntlet, which could change reality as we know it? You know what I mean?
I think it was smart because now they have another big thing to do. Because now I'm excited for this movie. I don't think I would have been excited for Doctor Strange 2, if we're being honest.
No,
without this hook, you know?
Really think about it. Far From Home, right? Remember the story that Mysterio made up about there being other worlds, 616 and all that?
Yep.
Because of the Infinity Thanos snap changed everything. I bought that story. That's the story I wanted. Like when Thanos did those snaps and then Iron Man did a snap, Hulk tried to do a snap, Hulk did a snap. All of those snapping, it created and spawned this otherworldly, and that's how you could have got your X-Men. That's how you could have got all these different versions. And I feel like that was like a wasted opportunity. It just means to me, I don't think they had it planned that far out. I feel like now after Endgame, they're kind of like figuring out, all right, what's next? And they're, Doctor Strange, he could do it. But I just feel like I don't feel like Doctor Strange just his movie is the movie to do it on. You know what I mean? I just feel like it's just too small.
Yeah, I mean, but you could also bring in Wesley Snipes' Blade. You could do a lot of cool things here to justify it. So it's like my there's so many opportunities. It brings in X-Men. You can do all that here. Granted, sure, I mean, I still think you could retcon and say the Snaps did that. Like, oh, stuff happened when all that happened.
Still do that.
They could go back and figure out ways to justify it to that thing. But, you know, you have the Netflix characters. You have a lot of people that could suddenly now be justified in this universe, or at least do some fun, cool things to say, oh, wow, they all are connected, which is, to me, what's so fun about Flashpoint. Flashpoint now, and with that other score I put out there, the report about the other castings in DC, which if you guys didn't check out, go check out because that was fun. But spoiler alert, the idea of like them going, not only getting Kilmer, trying to get Kilmer and Clooney in some capacity, Chris O'Donnell, etc., but them like thinking, wow, let's get Nicolas Cage in here too. That to me is like nerd casting at its finest. Like getting, and then to know they're like, yeah, well, you know what? Let's do the Tim Burton angle because Tim Burton would have made the Nicolas Cage Superman. So let's put Nicolas Cage Superman in the Michael Keaton universe as, eventually Superman showed up and it was Nicolas Cage's one. That's crazy to me, the thought of that. And so I love that they're doing that. To me, that's DC with a plan. That's someone who's a fan who's like, let's if we're going to do it, let's do it. You know what I mean? Because if they were just to do that, I would kind of be like, what? But for them to do it the way they're doing it is pretty epic. So I'm excited for DC. I think DC's got a better shot at that because also Flash is a better character than Doctor Strange.
Andy, I am too, bro. But I'm not anymore. Like the whole drama with Ye Fisher and then Jason Momoa now, all of that is doing something to me as a fan where it doesn't feel fun. It's like Debbie Downer times 1,000 with this drama and with there's a coup to take Warner Brothers down. The power struggle between it's so much there that's just, and then I see this Marvel news and stuff, and I'm reminded of Marvel always has their shit together. Like they always have their shit together. They might not be a glamorous dime piece looking chick, but guess what? They're faithful. They're reliable. They pay their bills, and they'll let me live with them. That's what it is. DC is a bad chick that looks too good for me, and she steps out on me, comes home late. You know what I'm saying? I'm asking where you been, babe. She's like, don't worry about it. But then every now and then she gives me some good loving, so I stay. So it's like Marvel's like the wifey material, and DC's like a side chick that I can't afford.
Yeah, see, I can fight you on this one. I don't agree. I think if the new, it's interesting because the flashpointing of these characters in the Marvel universe, which now they need to do, you're right. It does get me more interested suddenly, which I haven't been. But I think it's the same thing in the DC verse. Without that, I'm like, what? Like the Michael Keaton Batman, all those scores are getting me excited about Flashpoint. Otherwise I wouldn't have cared about an Ezra Miller Flash movie. Just like I wouldn't have cared about a Doctor Strange movie. So I think both of these are the places you can pull it off. But I don't know. I'm more into the Flash than I am Doctor Strange, and I think it's like weird. I don't care that much about Scarlet Witch either. It seems clear that the WandaVision show is like crucial to understanding how all this is going to go down.
Yeah, it makes the level of WandaVision higher.
I'm like, that it's all. And if that show is awesome, then I would be like, great. Then finally Marvel's got me excited again. But my problem currently is like I haven't been excited about Phase 4 of Marvel because I feel like after Endgame I was like, where do you go from here? Until you announce Fantastic Four, X-Men, and have a plan here, like, well, who cares about these characters? I know you're excited for Black Widow, but I don't really care. It's not some. Look, I like her. I will watch it. I'm sure it's going to be a fun movie. It's fine, but it's not one that I'm like, yes, please, I got to go see this immediately. You know.
I'm excited for her because she's a product of old, not the future. And you want to be excited about the future. Black Widow's not the future. Black Widow, I believe, is just there to usher Charlie Pugh to be the new Black Widow for the future. But I'm there to see Scarlett Johansson, the mother of the Avengers, that same character I saw in Endgame, and I'm more hyped for that than anything in Phase 4 of the MCU.
Myra just sent over. Thank you, Myra, for supporting. Myra's been on fire tonight, everybody. Come on. I want to see the rest of you stepping up. Myra, I disagree, Jody. Strange 2 is the perfect movie for it because it needs a lesser movie to build up the next big Avengers movies like Civil War did. I think it's smart because what else do they have? There's nothing on deck that can sort of tee this up like Doctor Strange 2 can. So I think it could be – it's going to get people interested. But then there was talk about it being a horror movie. I wonder if that's why Scott Derrickson left. Scott Derrickson might have been like, this isn't a horror movie anymore. This is a clear, just alternate reality movie where you're going to stunt cast all these cameos and things. Maybe Feige's like, Yeah, no, that's what we want. That's more exciting than just doing a horror movie in Doctor Strange. This is an opportunity to like really reboot the system, which we need to do. And Tom Cruise is calling us back saying he's interested. So you know what, Derrickson? Let's pause the horror aspect and let's really lean into this Flashpoint stuff. It might have happened, who knows? But I could see that being part of the conflict that made him leave, right? In which case, honestly, I'm with Feige on this. I would much rather see a reset and a fun stunt casting opportunities to really explode the multiverse, so we suddenly can have opportunities for the more MCU to like split off and do things right that aren't always strictly into that MCU one line. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree with what Myra said here. Doctor Strange 2 is not Civil War. I would agree with you if Doctor Strange was that dude. He's not that dude. He's not Captain America. He's not Chris Evans. He's not Robert Downey Jr. He's not Tony Stark. Civil War was epic because it was full of characters that we already knew, loved, and grew with. That's the problem. Like Andy said earlier, the future looks bleak because we don't know anything about nothing and we don't love any of these characters. Doctor Strange is cool, but is he that guy? Is Doctor Strange 2 a Civil War? Absolutely not. Civil War was freaking epic. It's one of the greatest movies in the MCU. I don't think that Doctor Strange has the cachet, and him alone isn't enough. Him and Captain Marvel and Wanda, I like Wanda. She ain't Cap, Winter Soldier, or Black Panther, or Iron Man. That's the problem they have now. They don't have Titans. T'Challa, rest in peace. Iron Man is gone. Cap is gone. We were barely kind of getting used to liking Doctor Strange enough to where we look at him as like, okay, you're cool too. But that's like our fourth best option. I don't think that Doctor Strange 2 is that lesser movie that's going to catapult us forward. Civil War was an epic movie, and let's keep it a buck. That was Avengers 2.5 with all of the characters that we knew and loved. You're going to put Doctor Strange 2 with who? Chris Hemsworth's Thor? That trash Thor that we hate now? That garbage Hulk? That terrible freaking trash Hulk that we hate now?
We don't all hate that Chris Hemsworth Thor.
That Thor's trash, but he's about to get replaced by Jane.
No,
he's about to get replaced.
He said this is not his final movie. He's like, I'm not giving up after this one. He's on deck for more. And I'm sure he's gonna finally get fitter again for that. But I don't hate that. I didn't hate that Thor. But anyway, I'm defending that Thor. I still don't hate that Thor. But yeah, look, you're right. There are no Titans. You are right on that.
So yeah, I don't see. I think Doctor Strange could be great. It'll be nice seeing all this stuff, but time will tell. Just time will tell. That's how I say.
Well, we got lots more to talk about this, lots more, including that Tom Cruise space movie and some more stuff. So if you're watching live, don't go anywhere. We're not leaving it, but I'm clipping this for the people who caught it after the fact, so you guys get the scoop in a more digestible version. Lots more to speculate. We'll be talking more about some fan castings and things. So always catch us live 9 p.m. here on Tuesdays for Change Our Minds, and always subscribe to Jody's Corner. He's live all the time, and I'm live Thursday for Nerd Wars. Again, if you're watching live, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Thanks for watching.
Deuces.
Deuces.